It's common knowledge that the Walking Dead movement doesn't know the meaning of going too low, trying to inject their politics into every conceivable aspect in service of the agenda. And like everything else, it's all Brie Larson's fault. But even with their fanaticism, I expected there to be some sacred ground even the pink-haired Lanwells and soy boys would keep their hands away from. Like the world of animation. Disney's been putting out a slew of recycled remakes, but they at least had the decency to make them live action and leave the animated counterparts intact with some iota of decency. Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, and the woke machine hit a new low with the release of an animated woke nightmare, Cars 3. The movie sees main character Lightning McQueen suddenly outclassed by younger, faster vehicles, which results in him desperately seeking new ways to level the playing field, unsure if that can even be done. Along the way, McQueen finds a new passion and decides to train aspiring racer, Cruz Ramirez.
No.
Strap in, folks, because this one's a doozy. The movie has the makings of an underdog story, like Rocky taking on a haughty younger challenger for one last round of fisticuffs, proving that he's still got what it takes to be a champion. Unfortunately, Cars 3 goes woke at full throttle. The story is a thinly veiled metaphor for the days when straight white male was the de facto star of Hollywood. But just like Lightning, society wants them to hang up their hats and replace them with DEI hires and girl bosses, both in front of and behind the camera. Never mind they couldn't act their way out of a paper bag or shoot a convincing action scene. Quality and skill have taken a back seat to ticking off boxes.
Not a great plan.
Now, the anthropomorphic cars in the film obviously don't have any explicit skin tones, but it's clear from his eloquent speech and mannerisms, McQueen represents the straight white male. The movie shows its color, so to speak, when the most impressive of the rookies is revealed. Jackson Storm is fast, cocky, and speaks like he comes from old money and a proper education. Everything epitomizing the perfection of the straight white male. And then the movie paints him jet black. Keep in mind, this is the guy shown to be superior to McQueen in every conceivable way, was intended to replace him, so of course he's made to look black. So for all intents and purposes, this is blackface. If there was ever any doubt that Hollywood wants to wipe out the white man, this firmly proves it. And of course, no woke project is complete without the diverse female character. Cruz Ramirez is a young trainer tasked with preparing McQueen for racing against the next gens. She's a Latina vehicle who probably came to the country illegally, and her methods hide a darker motive. Just like Superman, the literal illegal alien, Cruz is here to destroy American culture and replace it with her own, like when she subjects McQueen to some salsa medley. I thought she was supposed to be training him, not launching an assault on his auditory senses. She even gets him to take a siesta, a most lazy Mexican tradition. And yeah, the straight white male who's been racing for years needs advice from a dumpy taco trainer.
Not a great plan.
But she doesn't stop there. It's not enough that the movie forces an inferior culture down our throats. It also has to take shots at good old-fashioned American values. McQueen and Cruz partake in the Thunder Hollow Derby, which paints Americans as loud, destructive, and of considerably low IQ. All part of the agenda. To make the Latin experiences look more appealing, because the only way to do that is to put down white culture. I'll stick to potato salad with raisins in it, thank you. You can keep your tacos and your tequila. You know what? Leave the tequila. Another part of the agenda shows the diverse newcomer being superior to the established characters in every way. In the first film, it took McQueen a considerable amount of time to learn Duck Hudson's trick of turning right to go left. But the mobile mujer figures it out in like 2 seconds. Then there's the other trick Hudson had where he jumped the wall and flipped over his opponent. We've never seen McQueen do that, but the Latina Lexus sees this once on the screen and immediately masters it for the final race. Female? Check. Minority? Check. Shown to be implausibly superior to the straight white male legacy character? Check. It's a concept so ridiculous that it can't fool Smokey, Hudson's former trainer. He's from a much simpler era, where men were allowed to be men and sell it like it is. When McQueen has fully given into the woke machine and coaches Smokey to motivate Cruz with her own language, he flat out refuses to utter that woke crap.
No, I ain't saying that. You tell her.
Leaving Lightning to replace him as crew chief. It's not enough to replace the white male legacy character, we also have to replace the one who has more manly values, because being old school equals toxic masculinity apparently. She wins the race, of course, even against Storm, who the movie spent most of its runtime beefing up as a racer who could defeat McQueen without breaking much of a sweat. So the Latina Lexus is superior to straight white male racers, both old and new. In the end, McQueen's forced integration is complete when he switches to a paint job so dark it looks like he's auditioning for the lead role in a Blade reboot. Keep in mind, dear viewer, this is a children's film, so the woke movement is attempting to brainwash the population at an alarmingly young age. And I'm pretty sure it was all Brie Larson's idea. You know, Cars 2 is often regarded as the worst entry in the franchise, but if I'm being honest, it's superior to Cars 3, because at least 2 featured the straight white male character in the lead, and Mater proves himself quite knowledgeable and capable, despite the misconception that he's incompetent because of his southern roots and strong accent. He's also flanked by a non-woke supporting cast, like Holly Shiftwell, who was unafraid to serve as eye candy, and Finn McMissile, an obvious nod to the early days of James Bond, when there was no such thing as HR. Last call before I close up for the night. The Cars franchise has slowly become a vehicle for The Walking Dead. In the miniseries Cars on the Road, Disney dropped some gay bait with a lesbian circus couple, and trucks which are supposed to be the manliest automobiles you can imagine, gleefully engaging in some sort of weird pride celebration. It almost makes me wish there were animated versions of films like Predator that we could show to impressionable youth to counter all of this woke nonsense. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go watch Predator again. At least the straight white males in that movie are allowed to be themselves. Ah, Predator. They'll never change you. Alright, story's over. Get out.